The journey of self-love. So let's have a discussion about what is the journey of self-love. What does that look like? What does that feel like? And what is it? So when you think about the journey of self-love, it's to ask yourself, are you experiencing self-love? What are you doing to give yourself self-love? So I want to talk about 4 characteristics that I think will benefit you to have this journey of self-love. The first one's going to be self-care. 2 is self-discipline. 3 is self-love. And 4 is self-motivation. So I want you to close your eyes and I want you to ponder, what are you doing to have this journey of self-love? What is it? What does it feel like? The first thing I want to encourage you is self-care. Self-care is treating yourself like you love you. The number one thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that you love you before someone else is able to love you. You want to make sure that you love yourself, because when you love yourself, it's a precious gem that you can give to yourself. Then you do not have to wait on approval for someone else to make you feel good or someone to love you. Once you value yourself and you love yourself, you will feel great about yourself. Now, along with you giving yourself some self-care, is we also have to think about, we also have to give our bodies some self-care. So how do you do that? So I want to come from Matthew 15:30-32. And this is when Jesus would feed the 5,000. And then he had his apostles. Verse 30 says, the apostle gathered around Jesus, and they reported to him all that they have done and taught. 31 says, then because so many people was coming and going that they did not have chance to eat, he said to them, this is Jesus said to them, come with me by yourself to a quiet place and get some rest. So even when Jesus was feeding the 5,000 and apostle was there helping feed the people, is that they were so busy that they didn't have time to eat for themselves. And Jesus told them, come with me yourself to a quiet place and get some rest. To have this journey of self-care is that you will have to rest your body. You have to be able to let your body rest so it can be nourished and it can get strong. Then I love when they say go to that solitary place. You have to find a place, whatever is that solitary place in your life, in your home, going to the park, sitting in your car for a few minutes, listen to music, taking you a nap. You have to be able to rest your body. Give your body some self-care. Also in 1 Corinthians 6:19-20, Apostle Paul said that we are not our own. We are bought with a price. And having received our bodies as a gift from God, we are to use them to honor God. We have to use our body to honor God, but we have to realize that our bodies is a gift. You want to make sure that you're able to rest your body so you can be healthy and you can be strong. And you also have to be able to take care of your body. That's part of the journey of self-love, is to take care of your body. You want to be able to keep up with the needs that you need. Do you need rest? Do you need some sleep? Do you need some relaxation? Do you need some meditation? Because God wants you to rest your body. And then it is your responsibility to take time out for yourself. It is your responsibility how you spend your time and how you rest your body, because all of this is part of the self-care. Now, even with the self-care is we also want to talk about self-discipline because many of us do not have this self-discipline. So we would say, what is self-discipline? Self-discipline is being able to control your own feelings, overcoming your weakness, and then you want to have the ability to pursue whatever you think that you want to do. And then you also want to make sure that you make the right decision when it comes to temptation. So self-discipline is to take charge of yourself, being in control. And so how do you give yourself some self-discipline? I have 3 things in mind to help you to have this self-discipline. One is that you need to write out your goals. You need to prioritize what you want to do with your life. And then you just need to learn to take one problem at a time. Do not become overwhelmed with life situations. And then you have to be able to divide your responsibilities over a period of time. Don't try to do everything at one moment. Don't try to do everything in a week. Don't try to do everything in a month. Maybe sometimes it might take a year, but you have to divide your priorities. You have to get you a tablet, get your piece of paper, and write down some of the accomplishments. Write down some of the things that is a weakness to you, and then come up with a solution of how can you overcome this weakness? How can I stop this? How can I make myself better? Those are writing down your goals because you want to prioritize them, and you can do it. If you set your mind to it, you can do it. Then also we want to talk about you want to overcome no weakness. Remember I said about those weaknesses, you need to be able to identify where you're weak at, what is causing a weakness. And so you do not want your weakness to hinder you. Then you also speak to your weakness. You need to stop speaking negative words to yourself. Long as you speak negative words to yourself, you're going to always feel defeated. You don't want to feel like a failure, but you have to tell yourself, I can make it. This isn't too hard. I can do it. Because sometimes we could become our worst critic. Sometimes we be so hard on ourselves that we are our biggest enemy. So stop telling yourself negative words. Stop speaking negative to yourself. Speak positivity. Say, yes, I can. Yes, I can do it. Yes, I can overcome this weakness. Because we are going to make mistakes in life, but when making mistakes, the best thing is learning from your mistake and growing from your mistake. That's all a part of life process. Point 3, when it comes down to self-discipline, is you have to allow yourself to forgive you. Self-forgiveness. You have to be able to forgive yourself when you fall into weakness, or you have made a mistake, or maybe you didn't follow your goals verbatim and you didn't do something, but you have to give yourself some grace. Stop being hard on yourself, because long as you live in this life, you are going to make mistakes. We are going to make mistakes. But how do we overcome mistakes? It's accepting the responsibilities. So we know what happened, how it happened, and then you're able to grow. So you always want to make sure that you treat yourself with kindness and compassion. Always treat yourself with kindness and compassion, because you don't want to put yourself under condemnation. You don't want to make, because you made a mistake, feel like you can't pick yourself up and go forward. Yes, you can. You can pick yourself up and keep going forward. Keep moving forward. Now we also want to talk about self-love. This is also the point of the journey of self-love, is you must love yourself. Remember at the beginning when I talked about self-care, is that you must love yourself like you love you. That is the best thing that you can do is when you love yourself. So let's talk about this self-love. Self-love is taking responsibility to love yourself and create your own happiness in life. Be responsible to love yourself and create your own happiness in life. You cannot depend and wait on someone else to make you happy. If you do, you will be disappointed over and over and over. You can create your own happiness. Sometimes you just need to wake up in the morning and say, I love me. Do your affirmation. Go and look in a mirror and say, hey, I love me. I am beautiful. I am worthy. So then you want to also make sure that you take time. When I say those daily affirmation, sometimes you look at yourself and say, hey, I love me. I respect who I am. I accept me and my flaws. That's that forgiveness. Yes, I have flaws, but I accept my flaws because I'm working on. Because you're never going to be perfect. There's no perfect person in the world. What makes you perfect? If you loving yourself, then you can tell yourself, I am capable of achieving great things. I am capable of achieving great things. I am a success. I am not a failure. I am more than enough. Tell yourself these daily affirmations. I am more than enough. I am blessed. I'm highly favored. I'm a child of the Most High God. So make sure when you're giving yourself some self-love is to take time to appreciate yourself. Many times we do not do that. We do not take time to appreciate yourself. So it's okay that you get and you pat yourself on the back. It's okay that you give yourself these affirmations and you give yourself and say, yeah, girl, you did this. You did a good job today. You are worthy. You are happy. Smile. So take time to appreciate your accomplishment. Take time to say, hey, I have a good heart. I have a good mind. I'm at peace. I have joy. I have happiness. But you have to love yourself, and it's your responsibility to love yourself and create your own happiness. Because if you wait on someone else to love you, because they might not love you like you want to be loved. They might start loving you and then stop loving you. So that's why it's so important that you know that you love yourself so you can give your own self that precious gift of love. That precious gift of love. So let's talk about motivation. The journey of self-love, also you have to have your self-motivation. And self-motivation is committing to setting goals for yourself now or throughout this year. What goals that you have set for yourself? So think about that. Setting goals for yourself. Making deadlines that you want certain goals to be fulfilled. You have to remind yourself that things are going to get better. In setting goals and motivating yourself, it's going to get better. Even though, remember, we talk about that, allowing yourself to forgive yourself. So even if you do have some goals set, it's okay that you must be able to tell yourself it's going to get better. I'm going to do better. Then even with self-motivation, is sometimes you might just need to try to do something new. When has it been the last time that you tried to do something new? Did you learn a new language? You decided you want to go back to school? You want to finish school? You want to be involved in your church? You want to go to a local church? You want to work in your community? You want to learn how to cook? You want to learn how to clean? You know, when the last time you read a new book? There are so many things that we can do to self-motivate ourselves, to pick yourself up. You know, I'm not going to always get up and wake up at the last minute. I'm not going to rush every day. to get dressed. I'm not going to rush every day to going to work. I'm not going to be late at work every day. I'm not going to be late going to church. Self-motivation. You have to sometimes just motivate yourself because you are your biggest cheerleader. So I want to encourage you to continue on self-motivation. And even with the self-motivation, I want to give you Proverbs 23:7. It says, as a man thinks in his heart, so he becomes. That's the self-motivation. What you think in your heart is what you will become. So think of yourself in greatness. Think of yourself in a positive way. Remember, talk about those daily affirmations. Get a list of 10 daily affirmations that you can speak over your life. I'm healed. I'm blessed. I'm more than a conqueror. Whatever your daily affirmations are, as a man thinketh, so shall he become. And then Philippians 4:13 said, I can do all things through Christ who strengthened me. That is that self-motivation. You can do all things through Christ who strengthened you. God give you the ability. When you're weak, he's strong. So this is also a part of daily affirmation that can give you that self-motivation. And in my closing, I want you to remember that the journey of self-love is forgiving yourself and creating a happy life for yourself. And in order to do that, you got to have the self-love, the self-care, the self-discipline, and the self-motivation. You deserve a great life, and you deserve to be happy. And only you can love you first.